What's up, guys, and welcome back to Bleeding Black and Blue. Sorry, it took me a while to get to this episode for you guys. Life has been a train wreck. So, Thursday night, wearing those beautiful, I call them sexy black uniforms, black helmets, black pants, black everything, the blackout. The uniforms, let's talk about those for a second, looked beautiful. Beautiful. And I cannot wait to go purchase myself an all black Panthers helmet because I think it's sweet. Personally, I'd love to see him wear that all the time because those uniforms were awesome. And you know what, guys? We came out, we won a game, we won. We keep winning these divisional games in this terrible division, just absolutely terrible. We beat the Falcons. A lot of people didn't pick us to win. Honestly, going into it, I didn't think we were going to do it. I'll be honest. I didn't think we were going to do it. I won't even lie to you guys. I thought maybe after getting our teeth kicked in at Cincinnati, it was just going to be, you know, a disaster at home with the weather and everything. But you know what? I'm happy to admit I was dead wrong. I thought Atlanta was going to run down their throats, and they did not. The defense played amazing in this game. The defense was awesome. Derek Brown. The dude is coming to his own finally. It took him 3 years. But right now, I think he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league, man. And he's still so young. And he's growing. And if we can get another guy next to him and a pass rusher, if you can get Brian Burns, Derek Brown some help on that defensive line, oh my. And maybe a little linebacker help. Again, we still have a lot of holes on this team, folks. There's a reason where I think we're, 3-7 now, I think, or something like that. But we do have a lot of holes to fill. But it's exciting to see when these guys finally put it all together. Again, against bad teams, but you know what? They're still an NFL team. The win still counts the same, so whatever. But we took out Atlanta. We make Marcus Mariota look not good, like he isn't. And his whole back pass, I've never seen that in my life. I don't know what that back pass thing was. That was just weird and just, I don't even know why he even threw it. We did drop a couple interceptions. I know it's rain, but you know, you have the gloves on. You should be able to catch that with the sticky gloves, even with the rain. I don't want to hear it. You're a professional athlete. When the ball's thrown basically to your hands, you got to catch it. Straight up, you got to catch it. Brian Burns had a good game. We got a couple sacks. Derek Brown had a great game. Xavier Woods had a good game. J.C. Horn looked solid. D'Onta Foreman, my God, is he good. I don't even care. Even against good teams, he's looked solid, man. Again, I still miss McCaffrey. I love McCaffrey, what he did. He's one of the most talented backs in the league. But Foreman has also been really good for us since he took over full-time, since McCaffrey got traded. So, I mean, I have to give credit where credit's due. The offensive line, since, you know, Bradley Bozeman took over and Icky's getting better and better each game. He still has his struggles here and there, but he's a rookie. He's a young kid. But you can see the potential. And Bradley Bozeman, the Bozeman, man. Dude, this dude was a freaking steal for us in the signing. A steal. I hope that David Tepper is paying attention or listening to me. Go get this man a contract. Bradley Bozeman has potential to be a Pro Bowl center. If he hasn't been already, I don't know. I haven't looked up his past career. I'm just looking at what he's done this season. He has been awesome for us. In the couple games that he's played, he's been awesome. Him and his wife are entrenched in this community already. People love him. People love offensive linemen. And the offensive linemen are just great, just funny characters, just great guys. Him and his wife are just been amazing to the Charlotte community from what I've seen online. And I hope Tepper is taking note of this and goes out and gets this guy, re-signs him. This would help solidify a great offensive line, which you've been missing for the past 6-7 seasons. Okay? We've been missing this since Ryan Cleo left. This could be the guy that could finally replace Ryan Cleo after 6-7 seasons he's been gone. This guy's a stud. Icky's look great. Tyler Moton's look great. I forget the other guy. I was blanking on him. Just this whole game, the way the offense was looking. Again, PJ didn't look that great, but we know what to expect from PJ. PJ, there's a reason he was undrafted. There's a reason he played at Temple, and there's a reason he was in the XFL. PJ's a nice guy. He's been competitive. He can sling it, but he doesn't always make the best decisions. I don't wish him any ill will now that he's got a sprained ankle and he's not playing this coming week. PJ has done more than I expected this year. It's just we got to upgrade. If anybody thinks we don't have to upgrade at quarterback, then you are fooling yourself. Because Baker, Sam, and PJ, I'm going to say 2 out of 3 probably are going to be here next year, if not all 3. I don't know. We might keep around somebody as a backup, but I know for sure Baker ain't going to be here. Baker wants that starting quarterback money. See ya. You ain't that good. You're a bum. PJ, I can see them keeping PJ next season as a backup because you got to go out and get somebody because we're probably going to finish top of the draft. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to be a downer on this episode, so just stay with me. But the PJ is just PJ. He had some really bad throws, guys. I think they had 2 or 3 dropped interceptions, which could have changed the whole game. It's just mistakes like that you can't have, especially against a bad team. Terrence Marshall Jr., we'll talk about him for a second. He has stepped it up. Since they started putting him in a uniform and playing, he has stepped his game up. He is slowly solidifying himself as a second receiver on this team. Possibly. I got to see more. It's got to be more in 2 games. It's got to be more in 2 or 3 games that he's played or whatever it is. We need more. Got to have more than just that. He does have a couple drops, though, and a fumble. They didn't call it a fumble on the field, but to me, that looked like he had it, a couple steps, dropped it, fumbled it, whatever, it happens. He's basically a rookie at this point because he didn't play it hardly at all last year. So I am excited to see his growth and development to finish out the season because if we can get him as a number 2 with DJ as a legitimate threat, we could have our Steve Smith and Mushin Muhammad again. We could possibly have something close to that. We have something close to that. You get a quarterback and you have a running back and offensive line, you're ready to roll. You're ready to roll. So the future for me is exciting because we do have a lot of draft picks coming up. But again, this game, we'll stick with this. I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk about the future and this game together to get my points across. But a lot of good things about this game. Again, linebackers were kind of in this game. They played better than they did in Cincinnati because you know what? You can't really play much worse than we did in Cincinnati. But that was 2 weeks ago. We're not going to talk about it because it was so bad. J.C. Horn looked good. Again, Dante Foreman. Dude, honestly, I wouldn't mind signing him to a 2 to 3 year extension. I don't overpay on money just because he's a running back. And as we see what happens when you pay running backs a lot of money, like Christian McCaffrey, if they get hurt, they do good. Just sit on the sidelines and you're collecting tens of millions of dollars on the sidelines, and it does your team no good. But I would love to re-sign him 2-3 years, somewhere in there. But you know what? I'm not the GM. That's me personally. I think Bradley Bozeman, Dante Foreman should be your 2 priorities as of right now going next season, and Brian Burns. So, and I keep forgetting Derek Brown. You can pick up his option as well. So that's 4 key pieces right there you can keep. You can try and keep for next season and add to this team through the draft and free agency. And so I guess we'll talk about the Dante Action Jackson. We know he's out for the year. This is 3 years in a row he's had a season end because of injury. I think it was a turf toe, sprained ankle, and now Achilles. I don't know if it was all in the same leg or foot. I don't know. I couldn't tell you without going back and looking and researching it. But after paying him the money we did, giving an extension, it kind of worries me that the guy won't make it through a season in the future. And J.C. Horn, him having a couple injuries this year, again, back-to-back seasons. I just don't like back-to-back seasons of injuries. It worries me. I'm not hitting panic. I don't want anybody to think I'm hitting panic mode, either one of these guys. But it's something we gotta take into consideration. JC, I think he'll be fine. His seemed to be minor compared to Dante Jackson's. And Achilles is a hard injury to come back from, especially at his position at cornerback, where he's like cutting and pushing off. Like that's his whole position. I hope he comes back and he's 100% next season and he's awesome. Again, those kind of injuries worry me because 3 years in a row, and we just signed to an extension for money because we're trying to chunk away at this cap that we've like just gone astronomical over the top with. So it was good to see J.C. Horn out there. Jackson had an okay game till he got injured. C.J. Henderson, he still sucks. That guy's got to go. He's getting torched by people. So I know I kind of see enough of him. I don't think he's anything we need to worry about holding on to besides maybe a rotational piece and like a small salary. every time I see him on the field, he's just getting beat by people. He's just getting beat. And it's just, I'm kind of sick of seeing it. Like, JC can't cover everybody. Dante couldn't cover everybody because Jeremy Chinn's not out there yet. He's been out for, what, 5-6 weeks now? So, again, we have missing Jeremy Chinn. That's a huge piece to our defense because Jeremy Chinn probably would have been mirroring Kyle Pitts probably the whole damn night. So, again, we won. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to get the points across to your guys. But we do miss Jeremy Chinn. I think he's back this week in Baltimore. Fingers crossed. And hopefully he's back. He's healthy. Because this dude, like, my personal opinion, I've heard other Panthers podcasts talk about, I think he does have the potential to be an all-pro. I think the guy is that talented. I think he was a steal. I think the second or third round they got him. I think he was an absolute steal where we got him at. That dude's an animal, man. It's just an absolute animal. We have a young core on our defense. There's still some holes. We need defensive back depth. We need a linebacker, a pass rusher, and a defensive tackle. There's still some holes to fix. It's a good defense, but you can always improve it and make it better. Because against good run teams, we've gotten gutted for most of the season. That's why we're 3-7. What was it? The kicker's name? Eddie Pinheiro missed another kick, but he hit a couple more. This guy, oh my God. This is where he misses Zane Gonzalez, man. He was solid for us last year. But you know what? I'm trying to be, again, not trying to be too negative because it is still a victory. Let's see. Tommy Tremble. This dude, he's running routes and getting hit with the ball and not turning his head. I think he's pretty much a bust. We don't even really have a tight end. That's another huge hole for us. When our teams have been good, when the Panthers have been good, we've had good quarterback play, ground and pound football, and stud tight ends, and a stud one at wide receiver. That's what most teams have. Yes, Paul, I know. I'm saying that's what makes us good. We've always had two good running backs at the same time. And we've always had that tight end. We need to replace Greg Olsen. That's going to be hard to do. Greg Olsen is a great wide receiver. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame stats. I don't know. I'm not the one to say that. I think he's an incredible player, and I loved everything he did for this franchise. But we got to find a way to replace him. It took us, 8-9 years to replace Steve Smith, something like that, it seems like. It took us forever to find DJ Moore to replace Steve Smith. So I'm really worried that it could take us another 4 or 5 years to replace Greg Olsen to get a real tight end. And honestly, there's quite a few good tight ends coming out in next year's draft. We might be able to grab one in the second round depending what the front office is looking to do and depending what we do with our first round draft pick. Because remember, we have 2 second round draft picks and a third. So, again, it's just there's holes here and there. There's issues that can be fixed. I'm excited about the future. A couple weeks ago I wasn't. I was really down on this team. I won't even lie to you guys. There's been a few games where I've just been demoralized. Like the Bengals game, that was so demoralizing. The Atlanta game was deflating. But we got to find that quarterback. And I know going to this week, it was just announced today that PJ's out this week, so Baker's playing. This guy won't go away. I'm just worried that we're going to lose this 4th round draft pick. That's my biggest concern with Baker. I think he'll be fine against Baltimore. I'm sure he'll probably have 3 or 4 batted passes. I don't know. Maybe he'll come out and light the world on fire because it's a former divisional opponent for him from Cleveland. But what worries me is that who's going to stop Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson? I'm not trying to be hating on this defense, but those are 2 studs. Those are 2 all-pros right there. 2 Pro Bowlers and former league MVP. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this Sunday at MT&T. I don't know, Bank Stadium? I don't know. It's some bank stadium. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see I don't know what the weather's going to be up there this weekend. It's going to be interesting to see who's healthy, who's not. Because we already know PJ's out and Jackson's out. Chinn is still questionable. So hopefully we get him back. Maybe he can basically just spy Andrews the whole game or spy Jackson the whole game. Because Baltimore does have a good downhill rushing attack with Kenyon Drake, J.K. Dobbins, and I forget the third guy. But that's another thing we need to be worried about because we've been getting gutted. Sorry, words today. Getting gutted by good running backs and good rushing offenses and scrambling quarterbacks. So I'm very intrigued to see how this week goes. probably won't get a chance to actually physically sit down and watch the game. I have to watch a replay later. I just have so much stuff going on right now. I don't know if I'll have a chance to sit down on Sunday and actually watch the game when it's on. Hopefully that'll change, but if not, I'll find a way to watch a replay or some highlights or something before I jump back on here. So, again, we have a lot to look forward to. This year, obviously, it's not our year. It's not been good. We don't have that quarterback. But I think going to next season, again, I know it's premature. We have a lot of weeks left, so we'll come back to this. I'm interested to see who's going to be quarterback here the next couple weeks. Because if PJ is healthy next week, do you play Baker? Do you play PJ? Do you play Sam? This quarterback carousel's got to stop and just stick with somebody. Hopefully it's PJ or Sam, because I don't want to risk losing that 4th round draft pick. I'd rather lose a 5th than a 4th. That's just me. So hopefully Baker plays okay or good this week. It doesn't get 19 passes batted down. Hopefully Brian Burns shows up. Hopefully Frankie and Shaq are rested up. They got the IVs and the Gatorade them because they're going to be running a lot. Trying to track down these running backs, quarterbacks, and tight ends. So I don't know. I'm not feeling real confident about this week just because Baltimore is a good team. But I mean, crazier things have happened in the NFL this season. So maybe we can somehow surprise Baltimore and steal one in the AFC North. So I know it's a longer one, but just had a lot to cover because a lot has happened since I talked to you guys last. So be good, be safe, be healthy, and keep pounding.